Have been great. Guelph with 5 power play goals, 5 for 20, 25%, and they score! They score on the power play. Slap shot from Merkley. It might have hit something in front.
Front of the net. Hillis almost had a chance. He took it off the back portion of his blade. Now up top again. Merkley shoots. He scores. And there you have it. More points from the youngster Merkley.
By Bratney. Merkley for Kerwin. Back across to Merkley. Fed in nicely for Ralph. Scores! It's Ralph. What a beauty pass, and he buries it.
Working it hard along the board. Stamiani has to go against Merkley. Merkley steps around his man. Over to McFadden. McFadden the shot, and it's directly into the net. The power play goal by Garrett McFadden.
Yeah, he's on pace for what? 24 points right now.
At this rate, yeah. Hope you got him in your fantasy.
And then they score again. Merkley from the point, and that's who it's Cam Hillis.
Hillis, and oh, it's there. Rebound, jettisons out. Merkley fires the backdoor feed, and the Storm. Hillis puts the Storm up 5-3.
Nets goaltender pulled for Guelph. Traffic in front. It's Ratcliffe, and that shot scores. Ryan Merkley looks at the 67s bench.
Ryan, tell us a little bit about Ryan Merkley and what we can expect from him heading up into the draft.
Well, Ryan Merkley is a very interesting player. He was the first overall pick in the OHL draft 2 years ago, and this was when the Guelph Storm were really kind of at a low point, and he was going to be a big building block for them. They struggled again last year, but he had a fantastic season. He was actually the first defenseman to lead all OHL rookies in scoring since 1988. He's leading the Storm in scoring again this year, and the thing about Merkley is he's a big risk-reward guy.
Tell the listeners what do you mean by that.
Merkley is a fantastic offensive weapon. He's a fast skater. He's dazzling with the puck, very good at handling it. He can distribute, he can shoot, but his defensive play is kind of lacking right now. And you know, when I talk to scouts, they're excited, but there's also some trepidation there where it's like if he's going to produce a goal, he might give one up at the other end a couple of shifts later. And I think that the attention to detail and really buying in his own end is going to be the challenge for Merkley. And, you know, I mean, it's still early, and I think that the package he has on the offensive end is so enticing that if you're an NHL team, you look at the positives and you say, kids like that are hard to find, and if we can mold him in the right way, then we could really have something. And if you think about a lot of young defensemen that had promise, a lot of them weren't great defensive players. An example that often comes up when I talk to scouts is Jake Gardner with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's turned into one of their better defenders, but obviously it was his skating and his offense that got him on the board in the first place. So for me, it's interesting because when I look at Ryan Merkley, I say, okay, he's undersized and he's ultra skilled. Is he Ryan Ellis or is he Ryan Murphy? That to me is going to be the question.
Sauces it for Commando over Popovich, who was diving, and it went wide. Oh, back the opposite way, 2-on-1, Merkley and Hillis. Merkley a shot off the right post.
To the front of the goal, that pass was blocked. Schnarr leading Guelph, trying to get in. He passes, and Merkley.
A minute of overtime.
Nice job by Liam Howell. And Merkley intercepts. Merkley going in, shot on save made by Trombley.
And, you know, when I look at this draft board, it's going to be really interesting to see where his stock falls when the draft actually happens. Does Merkley go after all those guys? Does he go in the middle? It might be a team choice, and I think that's what makes him so intriguing right now is the potential versus the drawbacks. You know, what team is going to fall in love with him and when?
All right, well, you've watched all these guys. He's not going ahead of Dolan, probably not going ahead of Boquist, but you're the GM. Are you taking him ahead of any of the other potential defensemen?
I think right now the only one I would take him ahead of is Rasmus Sandin, simply because of the upside is higher with Merkley. If I'm a conservative GM, then maybe I take Sandin first because there's a little more there's a lot more of a two-way game there. But that would be my sort of like conservative versus throwing things off the wall. Let's go for it.
Go. Hillis for Merkley. Shot scores! Ryan Merkley gives Guelph the lead. It's kept in by McFadden, right point. Back across to Merkley. His low shot scores! And here comes Guelph. It's Ralph with Kerwin. Ralph across, broken up, shot scores! Merkley the trailer, and he puts it in, 2-0 Guelph.
As the puck back at the line. Watching him, shot scores. You leave Ryan Merkley and you watch at him, and he'll make you pay, and he does right there, 4-on-4.
Thoughts on this young player playing for Guelph who is starting to rack up some points offensively?
Ryan Merkley. He's a dynamic offensive D-man who has elite skating ability. A friend of mine that I coached with the Junior Canadians back in Junior A years ago, Tyler Craig, he coached Merkley in Ryan's first year playing minor midget, and he told me all about Ryan back then, so I've been aware of him for quite a while. Ryan really excels with the puck on his stick, but I think he struggles defensively. You know, in both those viewings, he just really lacked in the compete department. I've seen it rear its head in some other viewings, but Sunday was the worst one of this season. It's just frustrating because he's so talented. I mentioned the one scout, his 45 points, and the scout quickly came back with the minus 19. He just compared that number to others on his team. I'm not an overly big fan of the plus-minus stat, but, it does stick out a little bit. He's got the unbelievable dynamic ability offensively, and I just, wish he'd just commit a little bit more to playing in other areas of the rink and the defensive side of the puck.
Mark, focusing in on his puck distribution on the power play, at times it seems pretty effortless and very creative.
Oh, he's got a real head for the offensive game. I mean, he's creative. He gets the puck through. He's almost has the eyes in the back of his head, so to speak. At times, gets the puck to the net. Obviously, his points speak for themselves. Going back to being a rookie in the year last year, and then this year, the offensive game is there. Everybody sees that, and the skating ability is just unbelievable. But, you've got to commit a little bit to playing the other parts of the game as well.
Kerwin digging it free. Merkley shot scores! Ryan Merkley makes it 3-3. Now Hillis. Hillis feeding it back in front. Merkley chipping it in, scores! Ryan Merkley. It's it across for Tag Bertuzzi. Back to Merkley. Bouncing puck, scores! Ryan Merkley.
Merkley starts a 2-on-1, 3-on-1, quickly on it. Nice move there. Oh, my!
Get in deep. And the Firebirds try to clear. Merkley keeps it in. Quickly to Rental, scores!
Of Wells. Merkley has a man in front. Schnell driving towards the net. And Hillis buries that one. No chance for Dylan Wells.
What an incredible pass.
2 seconds left in the power play. Howell scores! Nice pass by Merkley.
They're changing. Hillis drops for Merkley. Back into Radcliffe. Shot, scores! Overtime winner, Isaac Radcliffe.